CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Connor Hogg.
Good evening. Premier Danielle Smith is calling on Ottawa to reopen trade negotiations with the U.S. before counter-tariffs come into effect. In a statement, Smith says the tariffs and counter-tariffs risk further escalation of the trade war. The federal government says its retaliatory tariffs will be on a range of U.S. exports, including seafood, steel, aluminum, home appliances, dairy products, and clothing. While Smith is adamant taxes on energy are not a viable option, BC Premier David Eby told BNN Bloomberg today he would support a tariff on BC energy being shipped to the U.S. Some experts believe an export tax on energy would create more division between the two countries.
Start trying to jack up costs to American consumers. First, it could hurt us because they're already feeling pretty bad about paying $5 for diesel. And, they could, instead of supporting Canada generally, start to think that we're playing too hardball.
Ottawa's measures also come with $7.5 billion in financial support. Smith says the province will keep speaking with small business here to determine if additional provincial measures are needed. The Shop Canadian app, created by Edmontonians, is seeing a surge in downloads as the trade war heats up. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more on how some people are putting their elbows back up and looking to shop local.
Some people shopping on White Avenue are being more intentional with where they spend their money.
I try to buy as much as Canadian as I can because until that guy gets out of there in the States, this is going to go on for a few years.
We pretty much try to buy more Canadian and mainly more avoid the U.S. Goods.
To make that process easier, two Edmontonians created the Shop Canadian app last year. The app allows users to scan a product to see where it was produced.
Our economies are so tightly integrated, it's sometimes difficult to find substitute products in place of Americans.
Since it launched, the app has been downloaded more than 300,000 times.
So we received a lot of traffic, and over the past year, we've seen upticks around almost every trade announcement.
The software developer says in the past week alone, 30,000 people have downloaded the app. That follows the breakdown of Canada-U.S. trade talks and new tariffs on both sides.
I would say it feels better to know that people are still engaged and they want to do better and they want to support local. That for me is bigger than whatever accomplishment I got from building this.
Still, it's not always easy to figure out the origins of certain products.
If a piece of clothing is made in Canada and it's made by a Canadian, well, where's the fabric coming from? Where is the machine that made it coming from?
There's no requirement that says that you have to say where a product was made, but if it says made in Canada, then it was made in Canada.
The director of the University of Alberta School of Retail says the trade war isn't good for the Canadian or the U.S. economy.
I think this is going to cost consumers more. It's going to put unnecessary friction on the economy.
He says the renewed tensions means buying locally is a priority for many Canadians now more than ever.
It's one of your few opportunities to do something as an individual citizen and consumer when you are in a world that seems to be spinning out of control in terms of trade.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
A 57-year-old man was shot and killed by police at a West Edmonton hotel last night. Police say officers were called to the Hilton Garden Inn for a complaint about someone in a room with a gun. EPS says officers tried to communicate with two people in a room and one man came out. EPS says the man approached with a pair of scissors and two officers shot at him. The man died at the scene. No police officers or other emergency responders were hurt. The Alberta Serious Incident Response Team is now investigating. Edmonton police have charged a 41-year-old man with sexual assault of a minor and sexual interference. EPS says while the charges are before the courts, they're releasing a photo of Mark Lester Cruz since they believe there may be more victims who have not come forward. Police say Cruz was known to host vulnerable young people at his place in northwest Edmonton. He was released from custody with a number of court-imposed conditions. Edmontonians are reacting to the death of Dolly Parton. Parton last visited our city in 2016.
Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him just because you can.
I remember, sitting and listening at my sister's farm on an 8-track tape that she had, and it just drew me in, and everything in my life has had a bit of Dolly Parton in it.
Joy Gagnon has been a fan of Parton's since she was a little girl. She saw Parton live years ago and got the chance to meet the star on stage. She says she admires Parton's kindness and humor. Local drag performer Vanity Fair says Parton is a major influence on other entertainers.
Dolly's probably the reason most of us are drag performers, honestly. The big hair, the makeup, she's just larger than life and commands attention. Dolly's one of those characters that I always take very seriously when I impersonate. The hair, the makeup, the outfit has to be right. Like, you can't just go on stage looking like a schlep and impersonate Dolly Parton.
An ethnomusicology PhD student at the University of Alberta says Parton's legacy goes beyond her music and even her hair. Alexis Burrell says Parton was an influence on how women perceive themselves while also setting an example of philanthropy.
The first thing that comes to mind is the Imagination Library, the literacy campaign. Both my niece and nephew have, whole collections of her books going. For women in general, I think the key example she set was like, you didn't have to choose between formidable and feminine.
Dolly Parton was 80 years old. Her publicist says she died peacefully in her Nashville home today. The Edmonton Police Service and Edmonton Pride Fest say a serious threat was the reason for the increased police presence at this year's Pride Parade. CTV's Curtis Goodrum has more from EPS and organizers.
A pride parade embroiled in controversy over the presence of police at the event. Several groups decided not to participate, citing a lack of communication and consultation about officers being involved. Police now say their presence was necessary.
The EPS received information of a potential bomb threat targeting the Pride Parade in Edmonton. Our hate crime unit investigated the threat and ultimately determined the threat was not credible.
Pride Fest says while it may have looked like there was more police activity, there were not more officers at the parade.
We knew that EPS would have to ensure the streets are safe. That would include things such as checking garbage cans, any location that could contain a hazardous device.
Organizers say the parade was very close to being cancelled due to the serious threat.
We cannot teach them that all it takes to erase queer joy is a phone call.
Pride Fest says it did not want to alarm the community, so it did not post about the threat beforehand.
What they did not need from us was another reason to be afraid.
The head of the Edmonton Pride Fest Association says he'll be having discussions this fall with BIPOC, Indigenous and LGBTQ2S+ communities to better communicate for future prides.
And I hope through the mediation process that Pride Fest can learn from mistakes that we have made.
The Edmonton mayor says when these talks happen, he hopes he can be a part of it to make the communities more welcome without removing police.
It sounds like the police did a great job of maintaining safety. And in a parade like that, they're actually required. Legally, you have to have police for that.
Rerica Now is one of the groups that boycotted Saturday's event. It says it stands by its statement that no police should be at Pride. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton City Council has approved a rezoning to bring a new shelter space in our city closer to reality. The Hope Mission wants to build a 120-bed shelter in a southeast industrial zone just off of Gerrard Road. The space was the subject of days of debate at City Council. Ward Métis Councillor Ashley Salvador says conversations about the appropriateness of the location are expected and needed. She also says the shelter space is necessary.
So I'm not surprised that there was a lot of debate and a lot of back and forth. But at the end of the day, again, I do think it's an appropriate land use against the backdrop of the really extreme need that is out in our communities right now. There are thousands of folks without a safe place to call home.
The Hope Mission wants to open the southeast shelter space before winter. It already owns the building. Some planned bike lanes in Edmonton could be put on hold in anticipation of upcoming provincial legislation. A report by city staff recommends pausing more than a dozen planned bike lanes that will impact traffic. CTV's Jeremy Thompson has reaction.
Cyclists have to share the road with drivers and parked cars on this section of 104th Ave in West Edmonton. It's in line for a new separated bike lane approved in 2022.
There are still parts of the city where there's no infrastructure, there's no safe way to be able to go visit friends.
A new report, however, recommends planning and construction of more than a dozen bike lanes, including the 104 Ave one, should be paused. City staff cite public pushback and upcoming provincial legislation that could allow the province to review or remove bike lanes if they interfere with traffic.
I don't think that's the Edmonton way. I don't think that's what the councillors gave the admin the mandate for 4 years ago when they gave this money.
Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen applauds the move. In a statement to CTV News, he says in part, for too long, transportation decisions have been driven by ideology rather than common sense. We need to consider how infrastructure works for everyone who uses our roads. The mayor says he's confused by administration's preemptive recommendation.
They have already within their authority the ability to make tweaks as they see fit. And so that is the direction. Unless council provides alternative direction, the existing plan is permitted to proceed.
He says he'd rather work with the minister to improve safety on city streets. Councillor Michael Jans believes this kind of bike lane intervention is overreach.
There's people who are upset where he's giving them false hope. There's others who are confused. And meanwhile, people are dying on our streets and paying the highest auto insurance in Canada. This is outrageous.
Councillors say they're fully aware that some bike lanes will come at the expense of parking and driving lanes, especially on narrow, mature streets.
I'm comfortable with that. Again, as we continue growing as a city, we have to accommodate everyone, and those are the trade-offs that are just a reality when we are trying to adapt existing communities.
The proposed pause will be discussed at City Hall Wednesday. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Transportation Safety Board has identified concerns after a train derailment near Wainwright in 2023. In its report released today, the TSB found a locomotive engineer suffered a medical episode and was unable to give instructions to his trainee. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
This was the scene near Wainwright in August 2023. A CN train operated by a trainee collided with another CN train. 2 locomotives and 8 cars derailed.
There were multiple prompts by the trainee, that wanted to know what to do. And so by the time, things clicked in and they put the train in emergency braking, the train had passed the stop signal and it was too late to avoid the collisions.
The chair of the Transportation Safety Board says its investigation found the locomotive engineer, who has type 1 diabetes, suffered a medical episode and wasn't able to give the trainee instructions on what to do.
We did have a medical expert go through the file, go through our finding, and the signs that he showed at that time in the locomotive were consistent with hypoglycemia.
The TSB investigation found annual medical assessments required for the locomotive engineer, whose job is considered safety critical, were incomplete or absent from his file.
It was really a partial compliance. And then we asked Transport Canada, did you look at the railway's, compliance? And we found that in the 12 years preceding that, they had done no audits and no inspections about compliance.
It's why the TSB is recommending Transport Canada establish regular oversight for railway medical rules through annual audits or surprise inspections.
We're essentially asking Transport Canada to provide additional oversight about a rule that already exists.
The TSB also identified concerns with guidelines railways use to assess diabetes risks, saying they're less stringent than suggested by Diabetes Canada. In a statement, CN says it takes the TSB findings seriously, saying we learn from each incident and apply those learnings to our network and operations. Transport Canada says it also investigated and CN addressed 2 areas of noncompliance identified back in 2023. Transport Canada says it's committed to improving safety. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Coming up next, some students at a local school won't be returning to their usual classroom next week because of storm damage to the building. And also just ahead, a piece of Edmonton's sidewalk struck by lightning earlier this summer is now part of a curated collection.
Because it hit concrete, we got the right materials in it that made it perfect to preserve it.
Good evening, folks. Warm one today. Temperatures got into the mid to high 20s across most of the province. Jasper even hit 30 for a daytime high this afternoon. We'll be close to 30 here in the city tomorrow and again Thursday. Then a chance of storms Thursday night. We'll talk more about all that in just a few minutes.
Some students from Killarney Junior High School will be starting the school year somewhere else. A section of the North Side School's roof was torn off during one of July's strong storms. Several classrooms flooded. Because of that, grade 8 students will start the year at Hardesty School in the Fulton Place neighborhood. Edmonton Public says buses will take students to and from the school at no cost. It also says it doesn't know when repairs will be done. It hopes to have students back at Killarney after the winter break. Earlier this summer, a bolt of lightning struck a sidewalk panel in northwest Edmonton, another remnant of July's wild weather. Last week, crews removed that section, unearthing an ornate design in the slab. Instead of being tossed in the trash, it's now in the hands of a science enthusiast. CTV's Noah Rashog has the story.
Because it hit concrete, we got the right materials in it that made it perfect to preserve it.
It was an act of nature that turned this slab of concrete into art.
This is exceptionally rare that this would actually happen in a major populated city and that it would actually hit a piece of concrete that would give it enough of the materials to do this.
Back in July, this section of sidewalk outside of a northwest Edmonton elementary school garnered a lot of attention after being struck by lightning. That includes Ryan Thompson.
So it's amazing that we were able to preserve some of this, and obviously with a stormy summer like we've had, this is a great, piece of tangible history that's happened here in Edmonton.
Thompson curates a collection of rocks, meteorites, and other natural oddities. After hearing of the strike, he contacted the city of Edmonton and asked if he could add this slab of sidewalk to it.
And when they were fixing the section, they were able to remove this piece and pause for a few minutes so we could get the pieces out of the ground. And then this would have been directly buried in the dirt, this piece.
Inside the concrete are sections of ornate glass, essentially capturing lightning in a pothole.
Sand being a key component to any sort of glass making, this just happens naturally because of the heat and the pressure and the energy happens instantaneously all at once. So we'll be able to see that basically frozen, that amount of energy frozen in the form of glass.
Thompson doesn't have a concrete plan for what he wants to do with it. He's hoping to put it on display somewhere in our city.
That just produced at random.
Also that Edmontonians can remember one of their stormiest seasons on record. Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
The University of Alberta is relocating a pipe organ to a church in southern Alberta. Parts of the Cassavant organ in the U of A's Convocation Hall date back to 1925. The original organ honored dozens of students and faculty members who died in the First World War. The university plans to renovate the space and says the organ must be moved to meet current building standards. An independent report recommended finding the organ a suitable home. It will be sent to the Netherlands Reformed Congregation of Picture Butte. The Reverend there says the organ will be integrated into a facility the church is building. The design will center around the organ. A local tire shop is getting traction online thanks to its latest social media video. Nothing But Tires and Auto Service recreated the intro of the hit comedy show The Office. They lined up the show's characters with staff members, mimicking their movements while including their own names. The sequence also shows different Edmonton locations. The video was shared 5 days ago, and since then, more than 4.5 million people have watched it.
We do get business off of it, but that's not the premise. That's why if you watch all our videos, we're not trying to sell tires in most of them. We're just providing a funny video. If people happen to see it's nothing but tires and then they want to come in and see what we're all about, that's cool too.
The tire shop's owner says they make videos almost daily. They recreate scenes from The Office weekly. The federal government is spending $51 million on an affordable apartment building in Mill Woods. The Gilbertson Block is a 6-story building that's a partnership between a private builder and Covenant Health. The building has 199 apartments designed with accessibility in mind. It's located close to schools, shopping, and a rec center. The building will also be next to Covenant's new Stelmack Community Health Center. It's part of an effort to bring healthcare, housing, and community supports into one space. Coming up after the break, an Alberta anthropologist is traveling the globe putting together a study of people who say they've made contact with those who live out of this world.
They describe what they're doing. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. We started out with temperatures right around average and then jumped 5 degrees above average under sunny skies this afternoon, 27 for a daytime high. Big upper ridge in play, and that'll stay in place over the province again tomorrow. So mainly sunny skies for virtually almost all of Alberta. We'll show you in a moment. There is a slight chance of a thunderstorm in the extreme northwest tomorrow late in the day. There's our chance for some storms as the ridge moves off late Thursday and into Thursday evening. So tomorrow, maybe a little bit of thin cloud cover early in the morning, but for most of the day, you're looking at blue skies. Chance of an isolated thunderstorm there up in the northwest, up around high level. Things really start to get going, though, it looks like late in the day Thursday. This is Thursday morning. There might be a bit of cloud cover in the morning. That'll move out. It looks like by early to mid-morning, we'll get some sunshine for most of the day Thursday, and then around supper time, storms to the west and northwest, and this will all sweep through the early evening. So best chance for storms in the Edmonton area is going to be late afternoon, early to mid-evening hours. So somewhere between, let's say, 6 and 9 p.m. would be the most likely time frame. Potential is there for some severe thunderstorms through parts of north central Alberta. The worst of the storms push off to the north as the evening goes on. But even through the overnight, there's a chance of some scattered showers, maybe even still a few lightning strikes there late Thursday night into the early morning hours of Friday. As the morning goes on, though, we're back into some sunshine for Friday, midday and into the afternoon. 13 in Edmonton tomorrow morning. Should be in the 8 to 12 degree range across most of the rest of the province. A little cooler in Jasper at 6. Highs near 30. Peace River high level. 31 in Grand Prairie. Mid to high 20s, once again, with some sunshine in the northeast. Near 30 in east central Alberta, and highs of 30 in Red Deer and Jasper. Here in the city, 29s tomorrow and Thursday. That chance of a storm Thursday evening. And then behind that, we drop back to the low 20s for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. More low to mid 20s through next week. That is your forecast.
A University of Calgary anthropologist is studying people who believe they've found a way to talk to UFOs. His research is taking him around the world, exploring a movement that blends technology, meditation, and belief in extraterrestrial life. CTV's Mark Villani explains.
For decades, TV shows like The X-Files fueled our fascination with UFOs and aliens. But some people aren't just looking to the sky, they're trying to make contact.
They describe what they're doing as close encounters of the fifth kind.
Dr. Shane Dahl is a University of Calgary anthropologist researching a global phenomenon he calls techno-shamanism. He's interviewing groups around the world who use technology like laser pointers and Geiger counters to signal UFOs, combined with meditation, visualization, and what participants describe as telepathic contact.
You sort of meditate into a state where you can imagine your consciousness leaving your body and going into deep space. And while you're in deep space, sending out a signal.
Experts say those signals are meant to establish diplomatic communications and peaceful relationships with ETs.
There have been whistleblowers who have come forth and talked about their experience in classified and other covert programs within the military.
It comes as the U.S. government released 41 more declassified files this month on unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs. The material doesn't prove the objects are extraterrestrial, but it is giving researchers more data to examine, with search efforts advancing through the use of AI.
And so they're training AI to differentiate between ordinary objects and other things. And it's the other things that people are interested in.
More than 1,000 UFO sightings were reported in Canada last year. The vast majority occurred in August. And Calgary led the country with 28 sightings. While there's no confirmation of any contact with aliens, this researcher says his work is more about revealing how people see their place in the universe.
They're transforming popular cosmology through ritual practice.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
That's our show for this evening. For the latest news anytime, visit our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Thank you for spending your time here. Have a good night.